United States of America Coast Guard cutter Yellowfin recovered 4,000 yards of long-line gear illegally deployed by commercial fishermen from Mexico inside the U.S. exclusive economic zone, approximately 31 miles offshore. The crew removed 70 sharks, 20 snappers, and eliminated a serious hazard to marine life in the United States of America. Semper Paratus, always ready. The U.S. Coast Guard. Way to go, boys.
The reason why this is supposed to be so good, it's pole and line caught only. 100% spicy Spanish olive oil, hand-packed in northern Spain, and it's got 17 grams of protein. This is 3.2 ounces. Cost about $5, $25 a pound. All right, here we go. Ruining the box. What the hell is with this can? There we go. $25 a pound, Fishwife, albacore. Here we go. Take a look. Tastes like any other canned tuna to me. I don't even taste any spice at all. No spice. It's okay. Not bad. Fishwife albacore tuna looks good, tastes okay.
Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman Tim Marquez and your garage door man Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez. And also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And don't forget to visit Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Seal Beach Boulevard. They've got all the bait tackle you'll need for a successful day on the water. Whether it's surf fishing or big game bluefin tuna, drop in and say hi to the folks at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This gorgeous Tuesday morning. It is so great to be with you all. We have so much in sport fishing to catch you up on some great long-range fishing. Coronado Islands, we'll see if they're biting. There's a lot of fish there. I think that's getting ready to go again. A tremendous trip on the Pacific Voyager on bluefin and slug yellowtail. And lots of them. We're going to get you caught up on that. The Fury right now, Tuesday morning,
is catching some of those slug yellows at San Clemente Island. And also, we're going to look at the Channel Islands. We'll go up to San Francisco and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. It is so great to be with you all. What a couple of live shows we had for you yesterday. It was absolutely incredible to meet Sally Katz, 64-year-old woman who swam from Catalina Island yesterday to the mainland. Ended up in front of the Trump Golf Course. You can see her as she walked into our office there at 22nd Street Landing during the Danny Cadota show. Remarkable person, and what an accomplishment. 64 years old. I don't think I could swim from here to that pelican going by right there. Sally, really a monumental achievement, and I'm so glad we got to share that with you on our live show. That was the Danny Cadota show. And also, I'll remind you all that today, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, first person to walk in to Sam De La Torre's Island Fishing Tackle and buy a UC rod blank. You buy a UC rod blank. Have to be the first one today and the first person tomorrow. You do that, Chuck Zimmer will wrap it for you for free from Z Custom Rods. Z Custom Rods. Z Custom Rods. Chuck Zimmer. So there you have it. A couple of really great promos for you. I don't know how you can beat it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you share these videos everywhere. Also, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick. Whoa, is that warm and beautiful. It is gorgeous here this morning. Tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us over there on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. What a gorgeous morning it is. Let's jump into it with you and talk a little bit of Mexico, because down there at Cedros Island, we're still catching good amounts of yellowtail. It was not the bite that it has been in previous year. I mean, full speed wide open, but it's still darn good. Surface iron yellowtail still biting their occasional halibut, and some excellent calico bass fishing. You know, you don't talk a lot about that at Cedros, but you're going to have some of the best bass fishing you could ever imagine. We bring you up a little bit closer to home down there in San Quintin, 140 miles below the border, and there's still good yellowtail action going on the surface iron. Some nice big fish. There's some small fish mixed in with it, but a lot of nice 18-pound yellows really biting well. There's some big bonita. There's barracuda flurries on the beach. You're also finding more and more white sea bass. There's great calico bass fishing, tons of rockfish. I don't know how you can beat it. Some of the Ensenada boys, now we're 70 miles down below the border, have been catching bluefin tuna. They've got to run about 35, 40 miles right now, but there's fish inside of it starting to show again. That fish has been really squirrely down in that neck of the woods. You know, you got foamers of fish up and putting on one heck of a show one day, and then you go back and they're gone the next. But I guess that's the nature of bluefin tuna fishing. Once again, those poppers on those foamers work really well. You can throw those tuna riot poppers and get a bite. And remember, dead sticking, which means just leaving that popper sit there for a while. That is super effective in terms of getting a bite. Most of the boats there are focusing on the yellowtail, which has been quite good. There's a lot of yellows around Todos Santos Island, and down south around Santo Tomas, we continue to see good barracuda flurries down there, some nice bonito fishing, sheephead whitefish, calico bass, sand bass. Calico and sand bass, well, let's say sand bass not that wide open right now. You can still pick some fish off the structure spots, and then calico bass fishing's been pretty darn good here recently. Plenty of rockfish should you want to do that. And Carlos Cortez up there out of Popotla. Now that's about a 15-minute drive south of Rosarito Beach. And Carlos is fishing the Coronado Islands, where he's been coming up with some good catches of yellowtail. But it's down there at the islands. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Long range. Man, the Royal Polaris has just finished up a dream trip as they head back to San Diego. Absolutely phenomenal fishing. They had wahoo, they had yellowfin tuna, they had great dropper loop, nighttime fishing on big yellows out there at the Leos Banks. It is really such a great place to fish, and dreams were made definitely on this great Royal Polaris trip. Yesterday they spent their day running home and then went in on the beach, caught a few yellowtail, and just had really excellent calico bass fishing. You talk about great variety and a truly great trip. They certainly had it. That's an 8-day trip on the Royal Polaris, and the other guys that are fishing 8-day trips down the line there are doing really well also. It's been a phenomenal season on the 8-day scene, and it just continues. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. The scores run from very, very poor to darn good fishing. It really has been phenomenal in some cases. Bait, still a concern. Sometimes you get straight chovy. A lot of boats got that yesterday, straight chovy, no dean at all. Sometimes you'll get a mix of chovy and dean. Sometimes you'll get straight deans. But here recently, it's been a lot of chovy, and that really has made things more difficult. It's great chum, but you know, some guys have a little bit of trouble fly lining a chovy right now. Some guys, when you get on that smaller grade fish, are fishing a spinning reel. I know Terrence Hung was on board the Freedom and fished a spinner and ended up with 3 or 4 bluefin tuna. I think he had his limit of bluefin tuna on that smaller grade, you know, that 8 to 30 pound, even bigger than that. I mean, they have spinning reels that'll hold up to that. Now, you can make a longer cast with a chovy. I know some of you would rather drop dead than fish a spinning reel, but they're super effective when you're fishing chovy, so keep that in mind as a viable option. Islander, a 3-day trip, 82 bluefin tuna, 22 of those fish in the 120 to 140 pound class. That's just a great trip. I'm telling you, that is magnificent fishing. Sea Adventure, 82.5-day trip, 31 bluefin tuna. The Pacific Voyager with our dear friend Max Nui out of C4 Sport Fishing finished up a 4-day trip that was absolutely magnificent. Fantastic trip. Limits of bluefin tuna on board the Pacific Voyager. Those fish were in the 25 to 100 pound class. Really great daytime fishing, really great nighttime fishing. Smaller profile jigs like 240 grams when the weather's nice were great. If you have inclement weather or a lot of wind, you can drop over and fish the eddy bombs. Those are super effective also, but really fantastic fishing. And Max was not through there because he went into San Clemente Island and he had a heck of a bite on the yellowtail. Also some white sea bass. Just a tremendous trip on the Pacific Voyager. They threw on 89 yellowtail. Get the grade, everybody. 25 to 45 pound yellowtail. It simply doesn't get any better than that. He threw on another 9 white sea bass. That is great fishing. As I just mentioned, the Fury is in a bite here this morning on that big grade yellowtail. We've been mentioning that to you, and I'll get into it when we talk about San Clemente. But dropper loop fishing there on that big grade yellowtail has been spectacular at times. So once again, we have seen boats that get shut out on bluefin tuna, and then we've seen some really great scores here. The size of the fish varies. You might catch an 8-pounder, you might catch a 200+ pound fish. With a lot of that fish in the 25-pound class, 15-pound class, we do see a lot of that. So really excellent fishing going on in terms of the bluefin tuna bite down there south of San Diego. That fish seems to be a little bit on the iffy side. It's a little less consistent. Then you get up here around San Clemente Island, Tanner Bank, out towards San Nicolas Island. That seems to be the better bite right now. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. A gentleman going by, a surf fisherman, whom we wish the best of luck to. Hope he catches some nice Corbina because there's a lot of that going on here. We'll talk about that as we go along. All right, so bluefin, kind of hit and miss, but really good fishing when you get on the right school or just happen to find that right night bite. It can be phenomenal. I see a lot of great scores and a few bad ones. Bait, still a pain in the rear end, let me tell you. Let's talk the Coronado Islands, and that bite there, I think is being hindered with the bait. If we got straight sardine and had some bait to throw around the islands, I think it would explode right now. Guys are seeing the bluefin at the islands. Guys are seeing the yellowtail, but it has slowed down, and it's been that way for what, 10 days or so at the islands. They're still scratching out a few fish. The Grande had a couple of yellowtail, 17 calico bass. and 102 rockfish. I mentioned the rockfish because you're going home with some good eating fish. There's no doubt about it. San Diego, 5 bluefin, 3 yellowtail, saw a lot of fish. With bait, I think that place could explode, while the Mission Belle had a bluefin and a yellowtail. And both those guys also had rockfish. You want to catch some bottom grabbers, you're able to do that and take home some really great table fare. No question about that. So those islands look promising, but I think bait is hindering that bite. I think that's what the problem is. The water's warm right now. I don't think we're over by a long shot. I think we're looking at a great fall, especially up here in this neck of the woods where we saw some significant local life yesterday. Native Sun had some good fishing out there at San Clemente Island. We already mentioned to you the Fury's throwing on some big slug yellowtail. Other guys in on that bite also, 40-pound, 50-pound, big old 5-0 hook. You can even fish bigger than that. Fresh, dead, or live squid. And man, I'm telling you, those fish are like Guadalupe Island yellowtail out there. Really good fishing on that at times. Most of the time you're going to scratch out a few fish. Sometimes you'll have a bite like Max had over there on the Pacific Voyager and really put the wood to them. At Catalina Island, oh, by the way, there's really great calico bass fishing at Clemente right now. And in the daytime, there's also breezer yellowtail that are smaller grade, like, 8 to 12-pound fish, some bigger than that, but you have to have your surface iron ready to go on those fish. Catalina Island, the El Patron with bonito and calico bass yesterday. Once again, drop that mono down, I should say fluoro. Drop your fluorocarbon down, and that will help you to get a bite. I'm talking 12-pound to catch more and more calico bass than you ever dreamt possible. Bonita splashing around the boat. We've seen some yellows there. Patriot had 4 yellowtail yesterday at San Clemente Island. So there's a lot of yellows, and this southern push with this warm water and this nice fall weather bodes well for a fall bite on the yellows at Catalina Island. We'll watch that for you very, very closely. El Patron, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. They run twilight trips Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. And Mad Dog on deck, Mark Sonata running the boat, Chris Isaac. Really a lot of fun. Oh, Axel in the galley, or maybe he's on deck. I'm not sure, but he's there also and does an absolutely fantastic job. We'll get you up now to the Channel Islands, where our halibut fishing and our white sea bass fishing has been down here recently. The one thing about the Channel Islands is you can always rely on tons of rockfish, and they are certainly accomplishing that. But on the exotics, it's been a little bit more difficult here recently. Aloha Spirit yesterday had a halibut, and they also, along with it, had pretty good calico bass fishing with 54 calico bass. They had a halibut on the Mirage. Those guys, both of them, catching sheepshead, whitefish, rockfish, helping to fill out on that. And most of the boats up in that neck of the woods up to Santa Barbara were fishing rockfish yesterday. But as I say, water's warm. We're getting into that fall kind of no wind situation. At least I hope so. We've been breezy all summer long, and that bodes well for the bite. We get you up to Avila Beach, Morro Bay, good rock fishing. Up there in beautiful San Francisco, striped bass still biting full speed. Good halibut fishing. Some bluefin tuna offshore. Pretty darn good stuff. Taking a look at our local bite. It is starting to come on in some areas. Down in San Diego, a little bit of bass, but not much. Rockfish, and there's some yellows zooming around there. Some pretty good sand bass fishing out of Dana Wharf, along with calico bass, but a lot of shorts. Most of it having to be returned up here in the LA Orange County area. Man, I got to tell you, Monte Carlo yesterday had pretty good bass fishing. Calicos were biting pretty well with some sand bass mixed in with it. But the Native Sun, what a great trip they had on the Native Sun yesterday, as they had 3 halibut, 4 yellowtail. I'm telling you, that's getting ready to go. Some good calico bass fishing. They had bonito, and they caught and released a whole bunch of short white sea bass. So really good signal here on the local scene right now. I love what the Native Sun did yesterday here. We had some anglers on board who were sending me messages saying, man, this is good local fishing. And I think it's only going to get better with this southern push. Victory and Freelance and those guys picking some bass. There's more and more yellow starting to show up. I think you're looking down the barrel of a good yellow bite here on the Horseshoe Kelp, or somewhere like that on the local scene, maybe over there by Point Furman. Up there in Redondo Beach, picking a few bass up there in that neck of the woods. And our very own Nick Ramirez
was on the Spitfire yesterday out of Marina del Rey Sport Fishing. Nick catching all kinds of bass because Nick knows what to do. Fish lighter fluorocarbon. Choose a good hot bait. Change that bait regularly. Had a great time with so many friends. Nick Ramirez, we love you, man. Glad you could get that done. Also a couple of halibut on there. And as I mentioned, sand and calico bass, some sculpin and rockfish to go along with it. So some really excellent fishing. No doubt about that. Not wide open. You do have to drop that mono or fluoro down, but pretty darn good fishing for Nick Ramirez. So happy to see that. In the Southern California surf, we continue to see more and more corvina starting to show up on our local beaches down there by the Tower, Anderson Street, Pacific Coast Highway. There's been some really good corvina fishing, yellowfin croaker fishing. Further south, we've seen some barred perch, smaller down there in Bolsa Chica, Huntington Beach, some more corvina down there in that neck of the woods. We get here into the Surfside area, and there's more corvina showing up here. And man, are we seeing some really excellent fishing in the Santa Monica Bay. That's where I would be if you want to catch corvina right now in Redondo Beach. Man, there's all kinds of fish around the Topaz Rock Jetty down to the Redondo Beach Pier. Up there in Manhattan Beach, we've seen some anglers putting the wood to the beans up there also. It has been really good. There's plenty of sand crabs around the Manhattan and Hermosa Beach Pier, so you can fish that and do really, really well. And remember, those corvina, they're in this short water. I mean, you can literally, in this depth of water, have one bump into your legs. So it's really fun stuff. You'll see them finning sometimes. If you look really carefully, you'll see them finning or kind of splashing. You know, they're gonna wait for these waves to kind of roll in here, and they're hoping that the wave action will dislodge sand crabs and other morsels of food for them to munch on, and they're in this really short water. Really, really, really don't have to make a long cast. You can fish this with a trout rod if you want. You can go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait, tackle, and everything you'll need because they are Southern California's surf fishing headquarters. But they've got all the gear for sea bass and halibut and bluefin tuna, marlin, and everything else. In other words, Big Fish Bait and Tackle has it all for you. They give away a free, beautiful, custom surf fishing rod every single month. All you got to do is go in there and buy their ruler, and you're in for the rest of the year. And there's a lot of good fishing to be had for the rest of the year here. I'm telling you, this warm water bodes well for some excellent surf fishing. All right, my friends, tonight, you're not going to want to miss it. Full spectrum sport fishing. Woody runs that 6-pack, and I'm telling you, it is a gorgeous rig. It's really affordable. You're going to love Woody. James Mosier, my dear friend, also there tonight, 7:30. That show will premiere about 6-pack yacht fishing out of Huntington Beach, California. If you're from some other part of the world and you want to come out and experience this and catch some fish, man, I'll tell you, Woody is your man, and he'll be here tonight, 7:30 from 22nd Street Landing. I hope you enjoy it as much as I would, or as I did, because Woody is a spectacular person. All right, my friends, have a great one. Sally Katz, man, 64 years old, and she made it all the way from Catalina Island to the mainland yesterday. She has another friend leaving tonight from Catalina Island, I think about the same age, 64, something like that. I'll find out more about that here today. Take care. Have a great one. And I hope to see you really, really soon.